読解、英作文に効く。コイル式。動詞フレーズ376。令和9年度大学入試対策。教育、学習、成長、社会に関する重要動詞フレーズ376。読解、英作文対策に最適。
Educate about diversity. Educate on new technologies. Educate the public. Empower educators. Empower individuals to achieve. Empower students to succeed. Empower students. Empower teachers. Enable growth. Enable students to excel. Encourage collaboration. Encourage critical thinking. Encourage lifelong learning. Encourage open-mindedness. Encourage participation. Encourage self-expression. Engage in collaborative learning. Engage in hands-on learning. Engage in learning. Engage in problem solving. Engage students actively. Engage with the community. Enhance classroom interaction. Enhance communication skills. Enhance study habits. Enhance understanding. Enlighten minds. Enlighten students. Enrich the learning experience. Ensure access to resources. Ensure understanding. Establish a curriculum. Establish goals. Establish learning standards. Establish mentorship programs. Evaluate outcomes. Evaluate performance. Evaluate progress. Evaluate teaching methods. Expand educational opportunities. Expand knowledge. Explore new ideas. Decide on methods. Deepen knowledge. Define objectives. Delineate goals. Deliver content. Deliver feedback. Deliver instruction. Deliver lessons. Deliver presentations. Demand higher standards. Demonstrate learning. Demonstrate techniques. Deploy tools. Design assessments. Design curriculum. Design teaching materials. Determine goals. Determine needs. Determine priorities. Develop a curriculum. Develop knowledge. Develop partnerships. Develop skills. Develop strategies. Develop talents. Develop understanding. Diagnose learning difficulties. Differentiating instruction. Diminish barriers. Direct activities. Direct educational programs. Direct learning. Discuss ideas. Discuss topics. Dispel misconceptions. Dissect problems. Dissolve conflicts. Distribute assignments. Distribute resources. Diversify teaching methods. Document learning outcomes. Document progress. Drive educational reforms. Drive innovation. Uncover barriers to learning. Uncover learning opportunities. Uncover potential. Underpin effective learning. Underpin knowledge. Understand academic standards. Understand concepts. Understand diversity. Understand educational goals. Understand learners' needs. Understand student feedback. Understand teaching effectiveness. Understand the curriculum. Unify academic resources. Unify educational strategies. Unify learning. Unify teaching approaches. Unite educational resources. Unite learners. Unite teaching teams. Unveil information. Update curriculum. Update educational practices. Update learning platforms. Update teaching methods. Upgrade facilities. Upgrade learning experiences. Upgrade skills. Use assessment tools. Use collaborative methods. Use formative assessments. Use innovative techniques. Use interactive techniques. Utilize digital tools. Utilize feedback. Utilize interactive media. Utilize learning tools. Utilize multimedia tools. Utilize resources. Utilize technology. Capture student interest. Catalog resources. Cater to diverse learners. Celebrate achievements. Celebrate learning milestones. Challenge assumptions. Challenge students. Check progress. Check understanding. Clarify concepts. Clarify expectations. Clarify instructions. Coach students. Coach teachers. Co-create learning experiences. Collaborate on projects. Collaborate with colleagues. Collaborate with parents. Collaborate with schools. Communicate effectively. Communicate learning goals. Compare educational methods. Consider alternatives. Consolidate learning. Construct a curriculum. Construct knowledge. Contribute to education reform. Contribute to learning. Coordinate activities. Coordinate curriculum. Coordinate with stakeholders. Counsel students. Create a learning community. Create assessments. Create educational content. Create learning environments. Create opportunities. Cultivate a growth mindset. Cultivate creativity. Cultivate skills. Customize lessons. Customize teaching strategies. Accelerate learning. Accelerate student progress. Access educational resources. Achieve learning outcomes. Acknowledge achievements. Actively engage students. Adapt learning materials. Adapt teaching methods. Adapt to different learning styles. Address learning gaps. Adjust learning goals. Adjust teaching strategies. Administer tests. Adopt new technologies. Advance educational research. Advance learning opportunities. Advocate for student success. Align curriculum with standards. Align teaching goals. Allow for flexible learning. Analyze educational data. Analyze student performance. Anticipate challenges. Apply critical thinking. Apply for educational grants. Apply knowledge to practice. Apply teaching methods. Arrange classroom activities. Articulate educational goals. Articulate learning objectives. Assemble resources. Assert dominance. Assess learning outcomes. Assess performance. Assess student progress. Assess teaching effectiveness. Assign tasks to students. Assist in learning. Assist in student development. Assist learners. Assist with assignments. Assist with understanding. Tackle learning challenges. Tailor education to individual needs. Tailor lessons. Take action on feedback. Take advantage of resources. Take initiative. Take notes. Take on new challenges. Take part in discussions. Take part in workshops. Take responsibility for learning. Target diverse learners. Target specific skills. Teach collaboration. Teach critical thinking. Teach problem-solving skills. Teach respect for diversity. Teach self-motivation. Teach soft skills. Teach through experience. Teach time management. Teach using technology. Test comprehension. Test knowledge. Test practical skills. Track academic progress. Track attendance. Track performance. Track student progress. Train for career development. Train for leadership. Train for specific roles. Train in new methods. Train students for exams. Train students for success. Train teachers. Train to improve performance. Transfer knowledge. Transform education. Translate ideas into action. Identify learning needs. Identify strengths. Impart knowledge. Implement assessment tools. Implement changes. Implement strategies. Improve collaboration. Improve learning outcomes. Improve teaching methods. Incorporate feedback. Increase accessibility. Increase engagement. Increase motivation. Increase participation. Increase understanding. Individualize instruction. Influence learning. Initiate discussions. Initiate projects. Inspire creativity. Inspire students. Instigate discussions. Instruct in critical thinking. Instruct on methods. Instruct on problem solving. Instruct on procedures. Integrate interdisciplinary approaches. Integrate into the curriculum. Integrate learning experiences. Integrate technology. Interpret results. Intervene in learning. Introduce new concepts. Invest in education. Investigate educational practices. Invite feedback. Involve community members. Involve parents. Involve students in decision-making. Involve students in learning. Observe behavior. Observe performance. Observe progress. Observe student engagement. Obtain feedback. Obtain information. Obtain results. Offer educational materials. Offer feedback. Offer guidance. Offer resources. Offer support. Offer tutoring. Open access to knowledge. Open communication channels. Open discussions. Open doors to opportunities. Open learning opportunities. Operate a program. Opt for collaboration. Opt for digital tools. Opt for learning. Opt for new methods. Opt for student-centered learning. Optimize educational software. Optimize learning environments. Optimize resources. Optimize teaching methods. Organize activities. Organize curriculum. Organize extracurricular activities. Organize group discussions. Organize student groups. Organize study sessions. Organize workshops. Orient new students. Orient students. Outline objectives. Outline strategies. Overcome barriers to learning. Overcome challenges. Overcome learning obstacles. Oversee academic progress. Oversee learning. Name achievements. Name goals. Name learning objectives. Name objectives. Narrow down options. Navigate challenges. Navigate educational challenges. Navigate educational systems. Navigate learning pathways. Navigate obstacles. Navigate through curriculum changes. Negotiate classroom management. Negotiate curriculum changes. Negotiate resources. Negotiate terms of agreement. Negotiate time schedules. Negotiate with stakeholders. Normalize assessment methods. Normalize educational practices. Normalize learning environments. Normalize student participation. Note areas for further study. Note areas of improvement. Note key concepts. Note progress. Notice improvements. Notice learning styles. Notify students. Notify teachers. Nudge behavior. Nudge toward success. Nurture a growth mindset. Nurture a positive learning environment. Nurture collaboration. Nurture creativity. Nurture critical thinking. Nurture curiosity. Nurture interdisciplinary learning. Nurture leadership skills. Nurture student potential. Nurture students. Nurture talent.